That is how it's done.
Accio.
Not exactly your typical lesson, is it? Not that I know. Keep trying. Let us see this.
Accio.
Let us make this a bit more interesting, shall we?
I think we are well past interesting at this point.
I'll say.
Enough chatter. Focus now. You will need it. This round settles it all.
Be sharp. There we go.
Accio.
Happens to the best of us.
Here we go. That is how it's done.
Accio.
Do not be discouraged. Let us see this. Yes!
Accio.
Not to worry. Very good, both of you. Well done. Class is dismissed. Gather your things on the way out.
Well done back there. You took the loss in stride. Didn't want to go too easy on you. Took me weeks to become proficient with Accio. Took weeks for me to get anything right when I transferred here. It gets easier, I promise.
That's good to hear. It's a lot to take in all at once.
To put it lightly, I remember how I felt when I first arrived. I transferred here from Ouagadougou just before my 4th year. My mother received an offer to teach divination here. Before I knew it, we had left Uganda and were halfway around the world at a new school in a new country.
Is Ouagadougou much bigger than Hogwarts?
Ouagadougou School of Magic is the largest wizarding school in the world. So yes, bigger than Hogwarts. But it never seemed intimidating or overwhelming to me. It always felt like home.
Is Ouagadougou a castle, like Hogwarts?
Its address is Mountains of the Moon. It is not so much a castle as a beautiful edifice carved out of the mountainside. I remember the first time I saw it, the mist was so thick I could hardly make out anything at all. And then it just materialized before me, this enormous school that seemed to be floating in midair.
This may seem an odd question, but is magic the same there as it is here?
Mostly, yes. But I did have to learn how to use a wand when I arrived here. Hardly anyone at Ouagadougou uses one.
Spells cast without a wand must be less powerful than those cast with a wand.
No, not at all. Wizarding magic cast without a wand is just as powerful. I find wandless magic to be much more instinctive, not to mention quite convenient if one is without their wand. I must admit, however, that I am growing quite fond of using a wand. It seems very dramatic.
It's nice to learn about another wizarding school.
Thank you for asking. I do miss Wagadu, but I am glad to be here at Hogwarts. I think Professor Ronan wants to talk to you. Better not keep him waiting. Until next time.
Of course, you can use Accio on humans, if you're so inclined.
Well, Professor Ronan reminds me of my grandfather. Loads of wisdom, but a bit mad.
A word, if you would.
After my brother learned the summoning charm, it was constant Accio this, Accio that, cutlery flying everywhere. Quite unsafe, really.
You wanted to speak with me, Professor?
I did. I trust your first charms lesson lived up to expectation?
Well, an outdoor competition wasn't exactly the lesson I was expecting, sir.
What charm is there in the expected? Miss Onai is a talented witch. Take it in stride. One often gains the most from the battles one has lost.
Of course, Professor. It was a challenging match.
Miss Onai is always a fierce competitor, though I sense that she is a bit distracted of late. Now, Professor Weasley has asked that your professors give you instruction outside of the ordinary curriculum. Expect to hear from me soon regarding a special assignment that I am preparing for you.
Hello there. You're the new student, aren't you?
Hello, you wanted to speak to me?
Samantha Dale. I've been eager to meet you. You're the student everyone's been whispering about. Hope your first day's going well. You certainly seem to hold your own in charms.
I've been fortunate. Beginner's luck.
My brother William would tell you not to be so humble and to trust your abilities. Then again, he tends to be overconfident in his. Well, better see to my charms homework. I'm afraid I can't count on beginner's luck to impress Professor Ronan.
Revelio.
Ah!
I could spend all my galleons at Honeydew.
And then the werewolves joined the goblins in the
Goblins,
uprising.
werewolves, where were you? In the Goblin Rebellion of 1752?
And by the end of it, The Minister for Magic was Albert Boot.
No, it wasn't.
Oh, what fun! I won't say my goodbyes. I shall cheer for the boy who says you're telling lies.
I'm not telling lies, Peeves. It was Albert Boot.
No, it wasn't. It was Basil Flack.
Ooh, fight! It's a bold attack. Was the Minister a boot or the Minister a flack?
Stop it, Peeves. You'll get us in trouble.
In trouble you will be, but you can't
It
give
was
Peeves a
brilliant
smack.
how you
She
defeated
says
Sallow
it's a
in that
boot,
duel.
and he says it's a flack.
Peeves, enough. You'll get us all detention. And you're both wrong anyway. It was Hephaestus Gore.
It wasn't boot and it wasn't flack, but you're all in trouble with Professor Black.
I think I'd have made an excellent seeker. I have a sharp eye. Can spot the shadow of the demiguise.
Revelio.
Showing off is a muggle trait. You don't see that sort of behavior in the wizards.
I tried a knee reversal hex in that small group. Found it rather boring, although, in all fairness, it only partially worked, which did look awfully strange. Do you ever wish you could ride a hippogriff? I've ridden one, of course. Several, in fact. I just wondered if you knew what it was like.
Oh, I remember that day. Yes, in Greenhouse 3.
Yes. You'd hidden a bucket of leaping toadstools over at the far end.
Yes, I do recall now. And Professor Garlick knocked it over and we ran out.
I got told off for that.
Well, I did say to distract her by asking how to handle flesh-eating slugs.
Well, I was mildly distracted by the shuffling of the mandrakes, I do believe. Do you recall that part too?
Oh, yes. Yes, I do. The toadstools had more than proven their name and were hopping into the mandrake pots.
Tell you what, I'll forget the whole thing if you can spot me some sneezewort and scurvy grass.
You after making a befuddlement draft?
Yes, there's a third year who keeps enchanting my quill to go up my nose. Time he learned who's in charge here.
Well, it's not you. Oh, I see what you're saying. Yes, that's rotten to enchant your quill. How foul.
Plus, it's an old quill. Clearly has feathers of some horrible bird that had no pride. Very painful up a nostril, I can tell you.
Fair enough. I'll trade you sneezewort and scurvy grass in exchange for letting bygones be bygones. Friends?
Always. And don't be stingy on the sneezewort.
I didn't hear anything.
She was humming again.
Oh, that's why you were so bothered.
Of course I was bothered. It's enough trying to memorize dates for bins without being pounded by a horrible tune that Peeves likely made up.
Oh, I knew I'd heard it somewhere. That's where it's from. Yes, it is a horrid tune. Very strange melody. Speaking of Peeves, I heard he drenched that poor boy again. You know the one. Hufflepuff. Winks a lot? Oh, yes. Apparently his father works in a spring carnival. Perhaps winking's part of the trade.
Well, I for one would appreciate people simply behaving in an orderly manner, without humming or winking. I have a younger sister who looks up to me. I can't be going home for the holidays without something for her to aspire to.
What do you mean? Like what?
Some sort of, I don't know, special recognition. An exemplary student and all that.
I'm fairly certain your little sister already looks up to you, just as you are.
I'm not so sure. Last time I was home, she left a hawk lump in my bed. Can't say that's a sign of respect.
Next time you hear the humming offender in the library, alert me and I'll sort her out.
Really? Oh gosh, that would be very much appreciated. I'm not one for confrontations. Thank you.
Afraid I can't do anything about Peeves, though.
Oh, of course. Wouldn't expect you to. Unless you could perhaps teach him a better tune.
Now you're pushing it.
Understood. Understood.
Wish off.